Hi, it's Olga. Welcome back to my holiday paper crafting tutorial series. Today we'll be making a real Santa's mailbox. First of all, we'll need 2 sheets of cardstock. This is Neenah Desert Storm in A4 size, but letter size will do just as fine. To create a box, we are scoring the cardstock at 1-inch mark at 3 sides. And then at the 4th short side we are scoring at 1/2 inch mark and then at 1.5 inch mark. And we'll need 2 of those sheets. The 2 sheets are scored the same way, but I'll be trimming them a little bit differently. So this is the back piece and I'm trimming off the corners first. And here is how I trim the top. It might be difficult to understand right now, but at the end when we start assembling the box, it will be very easy because it's just a basic box shape. And this is how I'm trimming the front part. If you're interested in the tools and supplies that I'm using, they are listed on my blog as well as in the description. And these are the shapes that we should get. I'll be working on a front part now. This die is stitch divider by Poppy Stamps and I'm going to use it to create a slit for the letters. I'm securing it with a tape and then I'm going to run it through the machine. I'll be using wide die cutting plates to place the whole sheet inside. If you don't have them, you can just use your craft knife to create this kind of slit. Here I just wanted to show you the stitching that this die creates. Before assembling the box, I'm going to decorate its front. So I'm starting by applying FRAYED Burlap Distress ink all over the edges of my cardstock. Next I'm going to do some stamping and I'm starting with this sack stamp by Tim Holtz. I'm going to transform this image a little bit in order to make it work for the holiday project. First of all, I'm masking off the word coffee with a piece of washi tape. Then I'm going to apply the ink carefully all around the stamp, but I'm making sure that I don't touch the coffee beans. I don't want them to be stamped. I'm using Memento Espresso Truffle ink, that is the very dark brown ink. This dewdrop shaped pad is really convenient if you want to apply the ink only to some areas of the stamp, like I'm doing now. I'm using a stamping platform to be able to restamp the image in case it doesn't work for the first time, but luckily it did. This stamp is Merry Christmas by Gummiapan, but it's kind of too large for my sack, and that's why I'm going to stamp only the word Merry several times across the sack. This stamp is my new favorite. It's Santa's hat, also by Gummiapan. I'm positioning it above the sack and then I'm going to stamp it. And this time I needed to stamp it twice. I have created a mask for each of the 2 images and now I'm going to use both of them. I'm doing it because I want to create a drop shadow. I'll be using Distress SPRITZER and the Distress marker. The color is ground Espresso, it's the darkest brown. So I'm now spritzing the ink at the left side of the sack and of the Santa's head. And when I remove the masks, we have a nice deep drop shadow. Next, I need to create a horizon line, or rather it's the floor line. I'll need a strip of washi tape, and also I'm placing back one of the masks. Then I'm starting to apply the frayed burlap ink again, only below the washi tape. I also want to give some texture to the floor, and I'll be using this stamp. It's a burlap stamp, also by Gummiapan. I'm stamping this image randomly across the floor. Now I can remove the washi tape and the mask. I've noticed that I forgot to add the shading on the left of the sack, so I'm placing the tape back and repeating this process on this area of my project. I'm also going to add a teeny tiny bit of frayed burlap over the sack. Next, I'm going to use a ruler and a brown pencil to draw some line, just as in children's copybooks. I'll be using ground Espresso distress marker again, the one I used for spritzing, but this time I'm using the fine tip of the marker. And I'm simply going to write down Dear Santa, just as I would do with a pen. Then I'm using the same marker to thicken some of the areas of the letters to make them stand out more. I also want to add some pattern to the background, and I'll be using this stencil by Tim Holtz with antique linen distress ink. And I'm applying the pattern randomly all over the front of the box. The next step is coloring the Santa. I'm using worn lipstick for his nose and festive berries for his head. I'm just applying solid color all over the head. Then I'm deepening the shadows with FRAYED brick distress marker. It's the darker red. Next, I'll be using this super cute die set, little card and envelope. I will also need this 6x6 patterned paper pad. It's called I Wish and it's by Maja design. I have chosen this plaid pattern for the envelope. And this paper has script pattern on it, and I'm going to use it for the little card. You can also use those teeny tiny dies that are also the part of the set to embellish the card and the envelope. The size of the assembled card and an envelope is 1 by 1 inch, and it works just perfect for lunchbox notes as well. And now I'm going to assemble the envelope using a little bit of liquid adhesive. I have made 2 more envelopes using the papers from the same pad. Now I'm going to use my craft knife to cut along the edge of the sack. Now I can tuck some envelopes right inside the bag, and now it starts looking as if Santa is really standing behind this sack. Then I'm flipping over the cardstock and I'm going to secure the envelopes with the liquid glue at the wrong side of the project. I'm also going to attach one card with the envelope as if they are lying on the floor. I've made one more card and I'm going to attach it above the floor. I'm sticking the top fold with one dot of glue and then I'm bending out the corner. To assemble the bag, I'm going to fold all the flaps. Before I start folding the back piece, I'm going to punch a hole in the center and setting up an eyelet, and that is to hang the mailbox to the wall later on. Now I can proceed with the folding. Now I'm going to stick the side flaps together. I'm using tacky glue by Scotch because it's quick drying and is very strong. Then I'm going to stick down the bottom flaps, but I found out that I don't really need those tiny flaps, so I just clipped them off. And I'm using the top flap to close the box. As I told you before, it's a very basic box shape. Really simple. I'm going to use some more papers from the same set and my envelope punch board to create a number of 3x4 envelopes. I will give those envelopes to my family and friends so that they could write their letters to Santa and put them in the mailbox. And that's how easy it is to place the letter inside, and to take them out you have to open the box at the top. And that finishes my project for today. Thank you for watching this tutorial till the end. Here are some videos from the previous holiday tutorial series. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time.